Hello, Victor here, RestoringMercedes.com. Today we're gonna look at the other car that I just got, and let's take a look at it real quick. That's another project coming up. Here it is. This is a 2004 S600, 110,000 miles, I believe. Yeah, something like that. Literally got it yesterday, and it's been washed just now for the first time in about 5 years. It's been sitting. So now the story goes is that I bought it from a gentleman, local guy, not far away, about 20 minutes away from where I am, and he became a good buddy of mine. And this was his son's car, and his son passed away, unfortunately. God rest his soul. You know, it is what it is. And that was his car. He loved it a lot, and he kept it going, and well, the car just broke down. And at this point, when it broke down in about maybe 2020, 2019 or something like that, then it was parked in the garage, and it's just sat there. There were many tries and many attempts to get it to start again and run again, but that did not happen until I got there. But I got there first time about 6 months ago, and I couldn't get it to start for nothing. A very weird situation with this car, and it sat untouched, unstarted for all these years. Suspension went down. I was sitting down on the floor, and I finally got it to start yesterday, and got it on the tow truck and brought it here. And now I worked on it a little bit today. Well, not a little bit, actually, hours. But I always say a little bit, but because for me, hours is a little bit. I mean, I don't know. There's just a very broad definition. But long story short, what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the vehicle now and make a sort of a list of things that need to be addressed. Because even though the car used to be a runner, but after sitting for all these years, plus other things that the car had issues with, obviously they probably need to be sorted out, but whatever. And yeah, so anyway, the car was painted. I see the tape lines and all that, so the whole thing was sprayed, and they did a really good job on the paint work. Yes, it's actually pretty good. That's why it actually looks like this, because there is another car over there, my other car right there. Yes, that's the same carbon copy vehicle. It's a 2003 model, but this is original paint, and well, it hasn't been washed in a little bit, but you can tell this one is not going to shine as much as the one that we're looking at, right? So they did a good job. There are some areas that yes, imperfections, but you know what, after any paint job you're gonna have a couple of imperfections here and there. Not like it was crushed, it was like, damaged, it was in a serious total loss accident or anything like that. No, not like that. It seems like it was just painted over, because I see no problems with gaps or any kind of issues at all. Now, the first thing that I noticed is that the rear system tires are wrong size, though, by the way. Right away, these are 235s 50s 18s, although they can fit and they actually do work well, but they're supposed to be 245 45 18s. So whatever it is, the tire on this side is actually absolutely wrong. This is a 245 40 18, and the previous owner told me that because the tire was bad, I mean, he had to change the tire. He put any kind of rubber, whatever, that was 18 inches. So that's why, but it doesn't matter. That's whatever. That is that. Now, next, the battery. The battery is 2019. I'm recharging it right now. It's sitting here recharging. It appears that it's at about, what is this, 80% there on the charger. So hopefully it will survive. It's 2019 battery, so that should be okay. Now, other issues with it, the trunk pump is dead. It's seized up. It doesn't move. All right, that's that. Um, Imperfections in terms of the interior. Outside, I don't have really problems with the outside, so we're not gonna go there. There are many, like, well, not, I wouldn't say many. There are a few areas where the chips were patched up, touched up rather. Like in this area right here, you see, that's the touch up right here, touch up right here. And that's just like a bad touch up, I guess. That I think happened during the paint job. But like I said, it's a 20-year-old car. I mean, what do you expect? This is gonna be the way it is. But looking at this, it's 110,000 miles, so you're not going to have an ideal car with this mileage. I mean, I have another one that I'm going to make a video about. That one is ideal, 49,000 miles. So that thing is like mint, really. But that's 49,000 miles. This is double that, right? And that car is even older than this. Well, anyway, but still, this is extremely well preserved example. Interior is all there. Yeah, you got some like wear on this little button here, the cup holder here. This thing is broken. Okay, whatever. This thing has 2 air conditioners, and the cell phone is all ripped out. This is all to be ripped out regardless. I don't want none of that. I mean, just saying, that's next. It's like these wires are ripped out, but whatever. That one, and then there was also something else with the whole thing. Come on, whatever. There was something loose about this, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Now this piece right here moves. Climate control works. The switches here are present, but they're not present on this seat. Wear and tear on the seat is there, but not critical. That can be, rejuvenated. Headliner is okay. There's a couple of spots, couple of marks here and there, whatever. Rear seat is great. Rear seats are nice. No problems there. But usually rear seats are nice on all of these cars. Rear climate control buttons are missing, and then the trim here is loose. I don't know what's that about, but again, I'm not about these tiny little details. I'm just making a list of what is to be done, because before you do anything with the interior, rims, tires, brakes, whatever, well, brakes have to work obviously at least a little bit, but you need to get the engine to run, right? So that's that. So these are our problems. The tints are scratched up. I don't know if camera picks it up, but there are many scratches on the tint right here. You see that? So tint is a gunner. What's going on over here? The rubber here is supposed to go under the plastic. This is basically my first look. I'm making this live because I haven't looked into this. I'm gonna have to actually deal with that. Soft close works right. That's good. So I just washed the car, like I said. It looks really nice, beautiful. Wipers are not set up right. They're not at the proper resting position. As you can see it, this thing goes over the plastic. That's not correct. It shouldn't be like that. I didn't check the headlights yet, but they seem pretty clean. Grill looks to be okay, except for the crack right here. Not the end of the world, but obviously that is to be glued so it doesn't spread over more. And that's that. The mirror light here is fogging. It fogs a little bit because after the wash you see the water inside. All right, that's not the end of the world. Now let's go over this side. The door panels, they're all pretty much in good shape. The switch for the washer is, what's going on here? It's not even there. It's just a hole. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, this is the second day. I mean, I haven't even dealt with this. I mean, I haven't worked on this car at all. It's the very first look. So that hole has to be filled with something. Plus, all of this paint, this gooey stuff is coming off the headlight switch covering. That has to be cleaned up. For the good thing is the seats move. and the car starts and runs. We'll get to that in a minute. This panel here, I don't know if I have the panel itself because there are parts in the trunk. These are the communication lines for the interior, if I remember correctly. And this wire here is for the light that's supposed to be here, but whatever. See, this thing is quite loose right there. All right, so open the hood real quick. Washer fluid seems to be low. I don't know, at least that's what the sensor says. And here is our engine. Now the engine itself is not tightened, it's not tightened up. I mean, basically intercoolers are empty. There's no coolant inside these intercoolers. Air cleaners are loose. The connections to turbos are loose. None of this is all secured because the throttle body. I need to replace this unit because I actually took it apart. Throttle body was jammed. I made it free, but when I took it apart, it turned out that one of the teeth on the main gear, wait, not on the main gear, on the plate gear, the one after the next gear. Okay, so there's a motor, the main gear, and the gear that moves the actual plate. The tooth on the plate gear was bent, and it was actually jamming the whole assembly. Bad news for this, but I was going for the computer like crazy. I took the computer apart. I soldered chips in it because somebody took the computer apart, and they did actually replace one of the chips. And I believe that chip was the coil control chip because that's what it seemed like. But whatever, so they replaced it, fine. I resoldered it because the soldering around it was kind of poor. So I redid that, and that didn't help. And then the throttle body itself is bad, but I freed up the gears. Now I kind of like made it work, but that's going to be replaced. And obviously the intercooler bleeding, that's going to be a job and a half because that's a difficult kind of situation. Now the clamps are loose, and I don't care for that yet because I'm going to take the throttle body out anyway, so it doesn't matter. The voltage transformer, that thing was bad too. So this is my spare piece, made in 2016, but I just took it from another vehicle just to put it in because the original voltage transformer, it was not totally dead, it was half alive. But it seemed to me that it actually would give out full voltage on one side, half voltage to the other side, if it makes sense. Because again, that's my theory. Because the misfire codes were there, everything was there, and there are still some misfires going on, but that's a different story. We'll talk about it whenever next time. But with this one, at least, I get the secondary bank less, I get less misfires on the 7 to 12. Before 7 to 12, they would go as bad as they would just shut down, but the computer said that they would shut down, but they actually would run. That's a funny thing. I don't understand how it's possible, but computer tells me they shut down. But I think because that old transformer was still firing up the other 6 plugs, because 12 plugs per side, right? So you got 12 over here, 12 over there, so 12 plugs over here, so the other 6 I think would fire, and therefore actually the engine ran on 12 but not properly. The check engine, the codes, whatever, so you have it, that's all there. So whatever, so I just put that thing in there for now, and supposedly the spark plugs are new, and I don't have a reason to doubt that. So that's that. Now there are some wires over here that are like I don't know, these are original wires. This is not aftermarket, so I have to deal with these, see what's going on, where they go, why they're taped, because I got SRS light and I have B48 sensor code, and that's the motion code for the SRS. So I think these wires supposed to go to that sensor, so I have to check that out whenever. I also see one of the suspension hoses here that is not in its righteous place. This hose supposed to be sitting here. That's its place right here, just like this one right here. You see the bracket. This bracket for some reason have no nut to it, so I have to deal with this. I don't know, I have to reorganize it one way or the other just to make it fit properly. That's that. A little bit of that. This is a little bit of leak from the coolant line. It happens sometimes. Slight seeping becomes really kind of like ash, so that is also to be, like I said, a very very first time I'm looking at this car, right? So this is like just to get us, I got it started, and now we're going through it so I can watch this video myself and remember the things that need to be done. Right now, here you got the computer box here, right? ESP module, suspension modules there, fuse box, SAM module, and it's not secured because the lock is missing, so it's supposed to go over there to keep it closed, otherwise it's going to get water in it. All right, so that's that. This has to be dealt with for sure. And one screw to go in here, obviously. That screw is not there, like this one has all screws, right? That one doesn't. All right, fine. So that's that. Next, here we have the spring that's supposed to release the hood when you pull the hood release lever. There's supposed to be a little plastic piece here in front of it, right? Like right here, and there is none. So I don't want the spring to be like that because I don't even know where it hits. It's supposed to hit here. Seems like it is hitting here. So when I pull the lever, the hood jumps open. That is fine, and that's great. So, but I don't like that because the spring is going to start rusting away at this very spot, and no can do. All right, that's that. Well, for now I think, oh yeah, suspension height, that's a different story. I think I have to recalibrate it because this is how the rear looks. So you can look at the rear, that's a normal height, and well, I mean, that's normal height setup. And we compare it to this one. This has the proper tires, and as you can see, so much higher this car is, and so much higher the rear is, right? This is 275 tire, and that's 18-inch rim. So as you can see, if I hit the button, it will go even higher than that. Yes, it has some rust on whatever, but clear coat issues. But yeah, that's why I have a feeling that that car sits way too low. So if you look at this one, just compare, just remember how this one looks, the height, then we're just gonna go straight up to the other one from the same distance, and look how this one looks. You see the rear is so much lower looking, right? It just sags down. So that I have to deal with too. Check that out, see what's going on. All right, so the video is getting too long, 18 minutes. I only have like 2 minutes left. You know, somebody cut off the rear exhaust on this car. Let's start it up. Yes, for 5 minutes AC works now. For a few minutes it sounds really cool, like a Formula One type of thing, but I'm sure it's gonna get very annoying for me to drive it like that. Yep, that's the sound with no catalytics are there, the exhaust cut out. I think this car has a tune because that's how my CL600 Rentec tune sounds. I can't run it for too long because I have no intercooler coolant circuit. So anyway, it runs. As it makes all these weird sounds and noises because we have problems here, intercooler pump, whatever. So that's why I don't want to run it for too long, because the car is not complete. It's just barely there just to get it to move around, and I have to deal with all these other problems, evap system, this and that, left and right. So for now, this is where we are, and this is me again, and this is Victor at restoringmercedes.com. Thank you for watching.